Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Little. I am can everybody hear me first off? Okay. So I'm the CEO of InvolveMINT. We have a mission to enable communities to create their own money to address poverty and protect the environment. You might be asking yourself, what does it mean to create your own money? How do you do that? Is that something you can even do? So I'll kind of get into that, but I just want to say that I've seen a lot of wonderful presentations today. I've been here since, I think, 11 this morning. And there seems to be a common theme that I see within these presentations. And that common theme is oftentimes there are economic barriers and there are misaligned incentives that happen in order to create the outcomes that we see that are contributing to climate change. So what we're really doing and what we're really dedicated to as an organization is really aligning incentives with the positive community impact. And I'll explain a little bit more about what that means here. So just looking at the economy as a whole, our economy is actually, like, when you hear reports on NPR or if you listen to podcasts, we're actually not capturing the whole picture of our economy. So there's actually up to 36% of work that takes place in our economy that is not captured and that it goes unpaid. A lot of this work is in the social service sector or environmental services or even domestic work, like somebody staying home and taking care of a child. And oftentimes these sectors will either rely on philanthropic organizations or people won't get paid for doing this at all. They'll have, we have a whole culture of volunteerism in the United States. And on top of this, we also have huge issues of inequality and huge issues of climate. And so what we're trying to do, and even just among the people that we've surveyed, people who are currently out and about working, there are a lot of people who care about causes, particularly social justice and climate change, but only 24% of the people that we surveyed actually get paid for working on those issues. Everybody contributes by and large pro bono. And so what this means is that people in the environments most in need often have the least ability to pay for their services. So if you think of social services, a lot of people who are hungry can't pay for themselves to be fed. That's why they're hungry in the first place. So again, you're relying on the philanthropic sector. And so what we're trying to do and what InvolveMINT is enabling is people to sustainably work on causes that are important to them. And how we're doing that is we're taking both a cue from, we're looking at the society, we're looking at sort of our system, economic system as a whole, our monetary system, and we're also taking a cue from history. So during the Great Depression, many of you may not know this, but many municipalities across the United States actually issued their own tax anticipation script. And in Detroit, it actually got up to 6% of the GDP. And what this did is it allowed governments to fund public service projects and allowed a greater amount of local resilience and self-reliance because local governments were able to issue this new type of currency, back then it was known as a scrip, and fund those social impact projects. And so we're taking this and we're applying a 21st century spin on it. So we are, as an organization, we're actually creating our own money that builds community and environmental resilience and self-determination. And the way this works is we've created a platform that allows, say, a person wants to work on tree tending or wants to serve on a vacant lot. They go out, they pick from a series of sustainable development goals. I'm assuming everybody here knows what a sustainable development goal is, but if you're unfamiliar with it, it was put forth in 2015 by the United Nations. And they track their impacts, such as the number of trees that they've tended to. And we have created a web app that allows people to document this work through several means by creating content and by tracking and logging the impact that they've had by maintaining that tree. And what we're doing here is when that impact is demonstrated on that network and when it is approved by the network, we're actually minting credits for doing this. So we're creating new money that hasn't been introduced into the economy before. Now the problem with creating your own money is you have to get people to accept it because unlike the US government, not everybody accepts a currency that you create on your own. So what we do is we actually curate a local business network that accepts that community currency. So The way that works is businesses participate, they select a budget. We tie the currency to the dollar. So businesses can set what type of budget they want to participate. And as we grow our network, that equals more resources that the businesses can get access to that they can trade themselves using the currency. And this is just a way, illustration of what businesses can spend their currency that they accept. And this is also good because it keeps money local. So we define our service area as the Pittsburgh region, 20 miles outside of the city center. And if you look at a lot of more global corporations like Amazon and chain stores, for Amazon, if you look at that, only $1 that you spend at Amazon stays within the community. Everything else, if you spend $100 there, only $1 of that stays within the community. Everything else leaves. And so the great thing about community currency and complementary currency is that it can stay in the community and it allows people to think about, rather than, oh, what are the lowest prices, who near me has the goods and services that I need? And that helps develop local supply chains and create more resilience. This is just some validation based off of research that we've done with a lot of local change makers in the community, a lot of local businesses. I'm going to skip this slide, but basically we're working with environmentally focused community development corporations and workforce development programs in edge communities to value labor that is contributed for workforce development programs. And this is just a little screenshot of the platform. So somebody demonstrating their proof of impact working at a local aquaponics and greenhouse system. And this is a projection of return on investment over time. So as more people are earning this currency, this is more currency that we're introducing into the system. And as that changes hands, this kind of shows you a projection of the GDP in the economy. And by 2027, we think we can get it up to 20 million in equivalent community credits. Skip this slide. This is our impact report for 2020. We were basically able to take a $125,000 investment and leverage that to create $520,000 worth of impact. And we were also able to generate $8,000 worth of new wealth from the credits that our change makers were earning. This is a picture of one of the projects that we're currently working on. Basically, what this shows is a circular economy framework for using the complementary currency to collect food waste, compost that particular food waste, use that compost to add to soil, grow food, deliver that food back to businesses, and have that prepared food be served to our change makers. So this is a illustration of how the complementary currency can facilitate that whole network, and it's a self-sustaining system because we're using that community currency with the businesses and the individuals that are working on our farm to enable the composting to take place. So this is just some images from, we call this project our Food Security Refresh Project. We started off, we piloted this composting operation up at the Hilltop Urban Farm. We ended up getting a site and adopt-a-lot with the city of Pittsburgh. And this shows a before photo of our adopt-a-lot. So we had to do a lot of work, and our change makers had to come out and clear all those shrubs. Some businesses that we have on board that are currently accepting the complementary currency. We have a local grocery store and some local restaurants and waste diversion partners. And this is what the site looks like now. So we actually were able to grow 260 pounds of produce just last year, and we started growing in July, which was a late start to the season. So it's kind of remarkable what we were able to achieve. And we're hoping to at least double that this year. Some more, this is a picture of our hot composting process and one of the change makers who is earning their complementary currency doing that hot composting. So what hot composting does is it sequesters carbon unlike regular composting. And as you can see there, it gets pretty hot. This was probably like a 40-degree day. Some more pictures of us diverting food waste and some more pictures of change makers here. So you can see there, that's Rowan turning a pile. This is us. And so far this year, like I said, we've harvested 263 pounds of produce. We've recycled about 13 pounds of food waste, 1,300 pounds of compost produced. And then we have change makers have earned about 11K in new income, and that has been circulated. About $2,000 worth of community credits have been circulated and extended to local businesses. And we also, I may talk with the leaders about this, but we're also wanting to distribute some surveys to get people's feedback, college students' feedback on our programming, or input, I should say, about our proposed programming. And we are always looking for partnership opportunities as well. And software developers, if you guys have software development backgrounds and are looking for an internship. And you can stay connected with us. We're basically on all the social media channels at InvolveMINT. And that's it.